Morning, fellas.
The whole crew today. The whole crew.
See you, mate. Hey, Lyndon. You right, mate? Good to see you.
Yo, Lyndon's people. This is the IBF champion in the world, Sonny Edwards. I'm going to put my act down there, so make sure you get adding. It's a takeover today. You know, the champ's over there skipping up. Yeah, he looks good. I mean, you know, we speak almost every day, and I know that he's ready to go. He's been sparring well. They've been training hard, and yeah, he's going to be ready come fight night, 10th of July, and I'll be there 100% anyway, supporting. That's my brother, you know what I mean? And it's almost what it is. It's family at this point, you know what I mean? And that's usually bonded by loyalty and respect and blood, you know what I mean? And yeah, that's my big twin bro there, definitely.
How long have you known?
So we first met. I met him and Zelfa. I met Lyndon and Zelfa at the ABAs, I think in 2014, I want to say. But I was just at the show over the weekend in Liverpool, chatting a few times, and then they didn't see each other again until we was both on GB. What people didn't understand about GB is that, you know, spending Monday to Thursday or Wednesday to Sunday or whatever where you're at is, you know, for every week or every other week, you're around people a hell of a lot, you know what I mean? And I guess you just get attracted to like-minded individuals, and you know what I mean? We've been friends ever since. Anytime I come Manchester, I'm going to stay on his sofa, his mum's sofa, or if there's a spare bed, go and jump in, you know what I mean? It really is like that. Same way when he comes down, he can stay in my house anytime, and you know, yeah, it's nice, man. It's real nice. It's real nice. He's earned the platform he's on now, in a big way. And I feel like what's happened now is, where Lyndon was relatively unknown, humble and coming up slowly, by leapfrogging Yarde, he kind of absorbed his hype, he's absorbed his investment, he's absorbed his platform to a certain degree. People probably think that I dislike Yarde or anything like that. It's not, it's a genuine respect there, because I think he's a real nice guy, he's a good fighter, great for the sport, very marketable, he does a lot of things right. But that's my big twin bro, and this is my camp, this is my team. Say way if they had a flyweight getting trained by Tunde and he was coming up against me, you can imagine how, do you know what I mean? But I like Tunde, I like Yarde, but I just think Lyndon's a better fighter. I think he proved that with one hand, and behind the jab. He nullified a dangerous opponent for 12 rounds. It's very hard to do. We was drilling into him the whole time. I was ringing him twice a week, just reminding him that it's okay to have a boring win. Have a boring win over an exciting loss every day of the week. Don't make the fight exciting because of you making it competitive. Make it as, do you know what I mean? With our sort of styles, make it as quiet and nullified as possible. Take away their strengths, negate them, and take over. And that's what he did, to the point of a 12th round. Yarde can do all this, I got robbed. He has backtracked a bit now. But he knew that 12th round, he needed a knockout. He knew he was down on the cards, regardless of what. He knew. Come out and to save face, to do that, oh, we thought it was up, that's why but they knew, you could tell that. You know what I mean? You could tell that, hence why he nearly emptied the tank and was then getting caught at the end of the round. You know what I mean? So here's what it is. But people underestimate Lyndon's toughness. They underestimate his inside defence, his reactions, and they really do underestimate it.
Mine. Yeah?
Soon.
Mine. Tack him to Manchester and just bring things like this. Tommy, put this in the back.
Yeah! Give us that! It goes in there, guys!
He's got an iron rod as a jab, sharp, long jab that he can throw from, you know, different ranges. He can fight from higher guard, he can fight from low, and it just establishes he's like a post. You know what I mean? And people have to sort of get over that sort of no man's land. You know what I mean? He sets his trench, and you know, people have to commit to get to him. Otherwise, you're getting out jabbed all day. And them sort of fighters, especially with the physical advantage he's got. You know, he's tall, he's big for the weight, he's got long arms, and he's got good reactions. Like, and his ring IQ can tell he's had a good amateur upbringing, and he's a good fighter. He's well-rounded, a lot more than people think and probably give him credit for, and he can punch as well.
What about Pat? What do you think about Pat?
That's it. I think he's more than just sort of like a trainer. He's like sort of the coach, the mentor, the motivator. Do you know what I mean? I think that's the role he plays, and he plays it really well. Lads are always in good shape, always come fit, 12 round ready, 10 round ready, whatever they're fighting. And what I'm just seeing here now, I've done some bits of work with Pat over the time as well. When I come down here, I've done some sparring with him and then trained down the gym a fair few times. But you know, he's good at sort of getting you thinking, rather than just, you know, smashing out pads that go bang bang and working on nice, sexy combinations. You know what I mean? It's very well drilled. Keeps on top of, you know, Lyndon and Zelf and all the boys down there, and you can see that they respect him. Do you know what I mean? He's got that presence when he walks in a room that everyone knows is in the room naturally, and I think that's both inside boxing, outside of boxing. He's just that way inclined. But with that sort of personality, it automatically demands respect of the people you're dealing with, and when they go into the ring, they're not scared. They're not, you know, thinking about all the things that could go wrong. We're here to do a job. We're here to get work done, regardless of what happens. You know what I mean? And that's the sort of approach I think he's got to it, and he's doing amazing things really. And it's a really, really good gym down there, and it's a good vibe. It's like an old school spitting sawdust gym, and these are the sort of gyms you need to churn out the champions. I mean, it's not all about, you know, the gyms that have got, you know, 20 treadmills lined up and like 5 rings and cameras on every, you know what I mean? Sometimes take it back to basics. Take it back, strip it down to your bare. And look, and Lyndon won his biggest fight of his career behind the most simple tool in boxing, a long jab. You know what I mean? And sometimes if that's all that's required, that's all you need to do. And
watching me what I do. There we go, beautiful. Watching my counters. We look at where we're at today, and we're fighting a 15-year-old kid. And anybody what's got to know, no matter what people can say, in their beliefs, they think they are good, and we're not overlooking them. As far as I'm concerned, this is like a world title to me. We get past this, then we look further and we keep looking further. I mean, we have to get past this fight first. And regardless what, this kid has got to be a good kid. He's 15 and 0. Yeah. People can say, well, who's he fought? Well, who fights? Anybody fights anybody anyway. It's just how you dispose of your opponent coming up. Learning from the beginning is about confidence and self-belief, and this kid obviously fancies it, else he wouldn't have took the fight. So he's seen some in Lyndon where they think we can win this fight, but the good thing about Lyndon and myself is when we try to do better for each fight we go into. We don't try and repeat the same thing as what we did in the last fight, because everybody's different. We'll keep the basic things the same. The jab will always be a good left jab, defense will always be good, distancing will always be good, and then the rest of it is what you do off that. He's got this WBO, which he's never had before. He's defending it for the first time, and I believe he should defend it another time and then look to fight for the world title, because to say you can be a world champion, you have to prove that you can defend something close to a world title, and that what you're fighting for is what makes you the target, really. It puts you #1 in a position to fight for the WBO, which you've got to be careful of, because everybody wants that position. You know what I mean? So if he loses his position. So real and truly, you know, you have to look at it as a world title fight. You have to look at the Commonwealth title as a world title fight. Anything you defend, you have to treat it to the highest level and prepare well physically and mentally, and that's what we're doing now. You know, this ain't the Rocky movie. We won't going to do everything like 100 miles an hour. We'll spend time working on things and getting balancing right. The key things, the key subject that we need in boxing is what we're trying to get. Time, that'll do. That'll do. Nice one, bud.